Hello everybody, Thippy D here, like the sun. I'm here today to play some Factorio, and I'm going to be basically playing vanilla because that's what I enjoy, it's what I want to try for the first time on a Let's Play. I've played a lot of Factorio, many hours, and I feel like I'm familiar enough with it now to commentate as I play, so this is the first time for me to get a Let's Play up and running. So the first thing I'll do is show you the mods or lack thereof that I'm using. I'm just using the resource spawner overhaul. The reason for that is it spaces out the resources in such a way that it slows the game down a little bit, means you have to rely on trains more than usual. And yeah, it's just pretty good. The other thing I do as well is I've just set up a custom scenario. It's this one here, and it essentially bypasses the early game. So maybe the first 10 minutes where you have to run around and collect ore and construct burner oil, or whatever they're called, burner drill things. Just cuts down on that really early game. I'll just show you quickly what I'm going to do for the setup here. We'll change a few settings here. The first thing, I just make water very small. I don't enjoy having lots of water interrupt the flow of the factory, hence the change there. We are going to set these to good and good. The reason for that is the resource spawner overhaul is good, and I don't know, I think that's what I'm going to do. I might come to regret it. Might be that there's just too much resource, so we'll see. Hopefully I don't come to regret that. We've got crude oil I set at very good because I am big. Going out, and I guess this is one thing I need to explain, is the enemies and going out and collecting the stuff. That's not the strength of this game for me. I don't enjoy fighting the enemies, setting up defenses and all that things, although I do have to rely on them for the purple science. I don't have a mod to work around that at the moment. So going out and getting things like crude oil things and setting up the I can't remember what the name, the equivalent of the kind of oil diggers, whatever they're called, that pull the oil out of the ground. Setting up all those things is not the thing I enjoy the most about Factorio, so I tend to try and just limit how much I need to spend on that. And likewise, just enemy bases, I don't enjoy fighting enemies. So I'm a little bit reluctant to keep this as it is, but I'm just going to do it anyway because I need the purple science, essentially, and I don't have a mod to get around it. Yeah, so that's going to be all it is. Did I change that? No, I think I'm going to change that to big as well. Right, okay, so let's get going. Let's see, we're surrounded by trees. Let's look at where our resources are, and really spread out actually. So we've got stone down in the bottom left here, and iron in the bottom right. That's going to be a little bit of a pain. I won't lie. Okay, so I'll just run you through what that scenario starts me with essentially. You can see down the bottom here I've got 20 inserters, 16 burner mining drills, 16 stone furnaces, quite a bit of transport belt, although not too much. It runs out pretty quickly, 250, some 50 coal, and 250 of both iron plate and copper plate. And I also start with the power setup. So I've got a boiler here and 10 steam engines, as well as burner inserters. And the reason for that is I find, like I was saying, I find the early game it drags along a little bit. And part of that is just getting all the power set up and things like that. It's just can be a little bit tedious, so I like skipping that. So the first thing we'll do here is just set up that power. It's not going to be needed straight off the bat, so it might be a little bit premature. I've also started with some pipe, so I'm going to just use some of that. Yeah, so this might be a little bit premature because I won't need power immediately. We will be relying on the burner mining drills and the like to get our first bit of resources, but that's okay. We'll set this up just because I've got it. I like having power ready to go when I need it. I also start with some small electric wires. What I'm just doing here is I'll just shuffle this all around so it's my usual default locations for these things. I know everyone has different locations, and that's just where I'm going to be keeping mine on their toolbot. What I realise here, like a nincompoop, like an amateur, is that I've completely forgotten about the boilers. So let's, and I also don't have the iron axe to make this happen quickly. Let's correct that amateur mistake. I promise I don't make mistakes like that often, so don't think too poorly of me. But man, that's a bit novice. So let's. What I like doing is adding a little bit of a gap between all these items, essentially, because you can't walk through them and they become an obstruction. So I will put a string of 13 like this, and another gap. Oops, wrong way. Another gap like that, and then like that. I can't remember who I saw this particular setup from. It's not my own design, this kind of condensed fire. I see a lot of Let's Players do just a full line of 10, and when you've got lots, maybe that makes more sense, but this is nice and compact. It's not as long, it doesn't take up as much of the map. Put these here. Now, I must admit, I don't actually know. I've played a lot of Factorio, many hours sunk into this game. I absolutely love it. But one thing I've never got round to fully understanding is the steam engine mechanics. It's just something I've taken for granted that works. Oh yeah, I start with some coal as well, so I don't actually need to dig up any of myself. Yeah, I'm not actually sure how the mechanics of the system work, much to my disgrace. The Let's Players show me that the best ratio is the 13 boilers to 10 steam engines, and that seems to work for everyone. So it's basically a ratio that I copy and have used just through every time I play this game, and I'm yet to fully understand the mechanics behind it. So let's think about this. So the offshore pump pulls up the water, creates a resource which is water. We can see that's 7.7 there. I'm not sure if that increases when the thing's actually running. Sends that water to a boiler, and that boiler changes that water, I guess, from low temperature to high temperature. And then each of these must require some high temperature water to function and produce the electricity that they do. Don't quote me on any of that, but yeah, I haven't actually ever considered the mechanics. Like I say, I'm just setting up this power just so it's ready to go when I need it. I don't need it at the moment, so we'll just pull some of this power down. And we'll take up some of this coal and start feeding the system. Right, so I've got 7 more of these left. What I do need to do is start pulling up some of the stone so that I can create more of them. Grab some of this wood here for the wooden chests. Now, did I remember to bring some coal? I do have some, but yeah, it's a bit like this in the early game where I'm going to be having to run in between these deposits. Now, this stone deposit looks like it's hidden behind these trees. So I'll just chop some of these down. Trees as well, it's got to be a better way. I like having bombs and tanks to blow all these up, but for now it's all has to be done by hand. Let's crank some of these in here. Actually, we just need 1 for the stone. You never need a lot of stone. I wonder if do I use the wood? Yeah, let's get rid of that wood. We'll get that cranking. Yeah, so one of my inspirations for Let's Plays, so there's a few people that I watch a lot, and you'll probably learn and come to see that I have copied them in a lot of the things I do, mercilessly copied them. So Arumba's probably my main influence, and I just like the way he lays out his factories, the approach he takes to the min-max approach to gaming. I'm really enjoying, and Factorio is just almost the perfect game to do that kind of thing on. I'll just set up these. The other people I enjoy are people that Arumba sometimes plays with in his multiplayer Let's Plays as well. So I'm gonna So we've got mangled pork, and we've got Stejo, Arvak, and I think even Shinra have played with them as well. So those guys I certainly respect and look up to, and like I say, I've probably copied much more than, well, yeah, I've copied quite a bit. So all credit goes to them for some of the things I'll be doing. But hopefully I can bring my own flavour to this as well. My background, what's going wrong here? Oh yeah, so I haven't actually got anything to use that electricity yet, which is why it's still flashing, so that's fine. But the coal is getting in there. So my background, I'm in logistics as a career, and one of the things I hope to bring to this is just a little bit of almost a scientific approach to the logistics of this game. Factorio really relies on like a problem-solving ability, so you'll often have things go wrong, and you'll have to dig down and figure out why that thing has gone wrong. And it's just such a good problem-solving game where you're having to almost go through a root cause analysis each time something goes wrong. You know, your processing units aren't getting produced. Why? Because you don't have certain oil. Your oil's not getting produced. Why? Because your oil train's fallen over and not working. And yeah, that kind of problem solving I absolutely love, and it's the reason why I have spent so many hours playing Factorio. Now I just realised one of the downsides of this map is that this iron is so far away from the others. It's actually a little bit unusual for the starting setup, but that's okay. We'll work around it for now. My first priority here is actually just going to be to get some science cranking, and to do that we need some gears and copper. And it's at this point that I'll start pulling down some power. So let's go. Should have done this on the way down, but oh well. I'm a little bit of a it might not look like it at the moment, but I'm a little bit of a aesthetics person when it comes to Factorio. I really like laying out factories in a really clean, logical way, consistent way across the whole factory. And I say that now because it really doesn't look like I'm doing a horrible job of that at the moment. But rest assured that will change as we get into, I guess, what you might call the medium game, or what's the what you got? Early game, late game, mid game, I guess is what it's called. So you will see that once science is up and running properly, and I'll be setting up a bus and all that kind of usual stuff. If you're new to Factorio, I apologise for skipping the early game. I would love to inspire other people to get into Factorio. It's such a wonderful game, and the developers really should have all the support that they deserve, really. And if this helps inspire a couple of people play Factorio, then that's awesome as well. But yeah, if you're new to Factorio, I apologise for skipping over the early game. I don't know. Maybe I'm not going to be the best person to introduce you cold to this game. But I will try and explain some of the mechanics as we go. I guess. Yeah, why not? Let's try and explain some things. As I say, this is actually the first time I've ever done a Let's Play, so I apologise if I'm not as professional as the others or anything like that. Hopefully it's not too bad. But right, so we're just collecting some iron here. That iron is cranking along. What's going to be an issue is, at the moment, just a need to constantly resupply that coal. So I'm just going to go up to that coal deposit and check. Looking at the map, these trees are all in the way, which is a little bit annoying. And like I say, that iron deposit is so far away from everything else. What I'll do is start expanding the drilling networks of the drilling systems of the iron in particular, because that's what we're going to be needing in this early game. So I'm just going to come over here and get some stone so that we can construct some more burner mining drills. I think I used them up. Yeah, I did. I used them all in the end. Sounds good. Let me know what you think of the starting scenario where I start with. I think it was 16 of the drills and some coal and all that stuff. I just think it really gets over that hump of the early game. Let's set up some furnaces for this as well. Like I say, it's a really hodgepodge starting whenever you start a new round of Factorio, and this is going to be no exception for the time being. I need some wood. I've already run out of those electric poles. Struck some more of those. Yeah, so I'm going to be running between these deposits at the moment and just feeding my various systems with coal until automation can happen. Until I've got a lot of transport belt to move things around for me. I started with 200. I think it was 250 transport belt, and like I say, that starting resource is really it runs out really quickly, so it doesn't go far. So you might think that the starting scenario is a little bit OP or whatever, but it certainly doesn't go far, and you run out of everything really quickly. I guess that's another advantage, or one of the awesome things about Factorio in many ways, is that you really have to rely on the automation that you eventually set up, and perhaps any cheating that you do to award yourself at least any of the base resources like iron or anything like that, really doesn't go far. You achieve things in Factorio by setting up systems that are fast and have a high throughput and all that kind of stuff, and that just requires time to set up, and it's certainly the fun part about Factorio. But it means that if you were to say give yourself 1,000 iron, 1,000 iron plate, I should say, yeah, it's of no great advantage. Right, so let's just think about what I need here. So I'm going to get cranking on the research as quickly as possible, and at the start, I'm just going to craft these in the hand at the moment. I'm thinking, do I run the iron plate all the way up here? And I think it's going to be necessary. So I'll just start crafting some of that, because I know I'm going to need some more transport belt to get it up here. It's quite a distance. I've got nearly 100 left, so let's clear a way through here. Pick up some wood as we do so. Yeah, so I've got the resource spawner mod on, and the reason why I've done that is because I think, again, one of the most enjoyable parts of Factorio are the trains. It's got to be said, the trains are just freaking awesome, and any excuse to use them, I'll take. The resource spawner overhaul, if you don't know, I'll just cancel some of this red science production for now, because I want that the transport belt first. Yeah, what the resource spawner overhaul mod does is it spaces out the ore deposits in such a way that almost it forces you to utilize trains. I guess one of the reasons why I enjoy trains in particular is because it's just running the network and timing the trains so that they don't you don't have bottlenecks, and that you have a good throughput, and again, problem solving to the extreme. And just if you get to the late game and you've got an awesome train network set up, just scrolling out and checking your minimap for just looking at your train network is quite rewarding. Right, so we've got some copper going here, and actually the iron will be going pretty well too. I probably haven't crafted enough transport belt yet, so I'll keep doing that. And I noticed that the iron hasn't started to come through, so I've probably just missed something really basic in its production. Something like not powering the furnaces. What is it? What's going on? Oh, I've missed a link in the in the transport belt because the tree's been in the way. So we'll clear that out and push that along its way. Also, we're running out of fuel for some of these, so we'll make sure we top up that. And yeah, I've got some more mining drills, so I'll plonk those down. Just really get that iron production happening. You notice that actually the problem at the moment though is not that we don't have enough iron ore, but more that we don't have enough furnaces. So that's going to be the next thing. So these guys are, now I've missed that as well. Old Factorio, in older versions you could skip that transport belt there, and these inserters would pick up off the end of the one before it, but no longer anymore. That doesn't happen, and that's a good change. But sometimes I'll just forget to do it. Admittedly, I haven't forgotten to do that for a long time. It was actually just a mistake, and I'm trying to make excuses for myself because really that change has been around for a long time. Right, so we've got some science labs, so I'll put those down and get science happening. I'm just wary of, I haven't seen any biter bases yet, which is good. We'll do it's always a toss up which ones you do first. I think this one's going to be the most useful, although the automation it is, because I just want those factory units working. So we'll put half of them in there and half of them in there, and that should plonk out both those sciences actually pretty quickly. And crank some more transport belts. How are we going on that? So we've got quite a bit now, so hopefully I'll be able to pull it up. The reason why I'm pulling it up is just so that we have enough, so it's all in the same location essentially. We'll just use up all this transport belt, and once this is done I will wish you all well for this episode and pause for now, and we'll thank you for watching everyone. Let me know any feedback you have of how this first episode's gone. So it's a bit slow, it's just an early game thing. Push Alt to get those symbols up as well. But yeah, let me know what you think of this, and I'll be cranking out a few in the next few days hopefully. Thanks for watching, appreciate it, and see you next time.